Madam Pauline,
Yes.
karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm glad to be in the answer show
Okay.
to have this great conversation about the place of customer in the business.
I know whether it's in service, delivery, of course, production, customer service matters. But before we get to that, tell people watching us who is Pauline Modon.
All right. So my name is Pauline Modon. Like you have rightfully said, I am a consultant, I am a trainer, and I am a coach.
Okay.
And all these aspects all build into the areas of business. So I deal with organizations, I deal with individuals, I deal with entrepreneurs, the whole scope of people in the business space.
Okay.
Yes. So my background is I have been in the investment banking industry
Wow.
for over 10 years. And from this space, I gained a lot of experience, a lot of competence and skills in dealing with businesses at all levels,
Okay.
whether it is at a startup level, whether it is the SMEs, whether it is in the mid-sized businesses or in mature businesses.
Okay. So you are an all-round individual as far as a business is concerned.
Yes.
Fantastic. I told you at Tanza, we bring you the best of the best. Now, moving on. They are saying now we are in the age of the customer. What does that mean? Because now I'm confused. What does that mean?
That's a great question.
Yes.
Basically, what we are saying is that the conversation has changed. Before we came into the age of the customer, businesses were in the front line of, shaping how business will be done. Now, the customer of today has evolved.
Yes.
The customer of today is very aware of what they want. So they're tech savvy. So they will look out for what they need from all the spaces where they'll do their research on the products, on the services that they need.
Yes.
And so by the time they are interacting with the business, they already have some information about what they are looking for.
Yes.
So they're sort of coming to validate with you on what they are looking for.
Okay.
And now the customer of today is, like I've said, is very evolved, even in terms of what they're looking for beyond the product and the service. They're looking for an experience. They're looking to have a relationship in the business.
In the business.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So that is how the face of the business landscape has changed. And so it is for us as entrepreneurs or those of us who are looking to get into the business to be very alert and know that we need to be proactive. We need to be ahead of the customer in as much as the customer has really.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Madam Pauline. Now, businesses want to do better. Every person who has a business, they want to give the customer the best. But again, you find there are some of a few challenges that they face in attempt to make those improvements. What are some of the key challenges that you've had people complaining about as far as trying to improve their performance to their customers?
All right, when you think about business performance, what are we really talking about?
Okay.
We can look at it from two perspectives. There's a perspective of the financial performance. So we look at what are the indicators, what are the metrics that cover the financial aspect. Very important. So we are talking about the revenues. So if you're already in business, you're looking what revenues am I generating? What activities am I doing to generate revenues for my business? And am I profitable? When you can have revenues, but are you profitable at the end of the day? You look at the cash flows. You look at your return on investment. Now, that's a component of business performance from a financial perspective.
True.
However, businesses have another face, which is a non-financial face.
Okay.
So what are we talking about? We are looking at the operational efficiency. However, it still ties into the financials. But the key metric here, we are looking at how efficient, how effective are the processes that you have in the business. And before you start a business, you need to establish proper processes in the business. whether it is a kibanda, whether it is whatever business that you're looking into, getting into, have proper structures and processes, because that is what is going to guide the efficiency and the effectiveness of the business. We have the customer. Now, sometimes we look at it as a metric that is non-financial. However, we can still tie it into the financial metric. Why? Because it is from the customer that we are able to generate revenues. Because the customer is the one who is coming either to buy the product or the service.
The service.
Yes, which now impacts on the revenues and the profits that we have on the business. So there are those two metrics that we need to check. Now, what are the challenges that we may encounter when you're looking at these business performance aspect? So we've looked at the financial and the non-financial aspect. So sometimes we may experience the challenge of, looking at evaluating the business to know how are you performing on these two. So what are the tools that you're using? Do you have the proper tools to evaluate and analyze the business? Whether it is evaluating on the customer performance, again, whether it's looking at the revenue performance of the business or the standard operating procedures of the business. Again, these are things that we may experience challenges with if they've not been set out from the beginning. There's also the part of the governance. Have you set out good structures that give you proper governance in the business? And I always advocate for, whether it is even that together, have a governance structure in your own way, in the simplest way possible, to be able to know that am I the seller? Am I the seller alone? Am I the person who will be sourcing for the raw materials? Am I the person who will be doing the social media? What is the role of each person in that business? If you're a sole proprietor, let it be very clear what your role is, even as a sole. And if you can't be able to do everything, how can you outsource other services that are there, so that will make efficiency and effectiveness flow very well?
Okay, madam. Now that you are a consultant, and let's say a business calls you in to assess the customer performance, how do you do that?
A very good question.
Yes.
Yeah, because again, you'll be wondering now, what are we trying to assess in the first place about the customer service?
Yes.
So like we said in the beginning, the place of the customer is very, very, very critical.
The place of the customer.
Yes.
Yes.
Very, very important in a business. And I like what you said at the beginning, that the customer is the boss.
Yes.
He is the key person in the business. Now, what will we be checking? One, we'll be checking on the satisfaction levels, the customer satisfaction levels. What are the things that you're doing as a business, as an entrepreneur, as an organization, to make sure that the customer is satisfied with the services and the products you're offering in the business? So how do we assess that satisfaction? There are many ways we can be able to do. If it is a small business, we can do service. When your customers are coming in the business, even through the interactions you're having with the customer, how was the product? How was the service? At the back of your mind, you already know that you're collecting data from this customer that will help you evaluate and see whether your customer is happy or not. Okay. You can also assess on them the retention rates. So how do we build a customer retention rate? And retention is very important, because it's from the customers that we retain in our business that we have a business continuity. So what do you mean? When we build good customer loyalty, and even in your kibada, that there's always these customers who are always coming. They are loyal because, one, they are satisfied, they are trusting your business, and they've already established a business. And it is two-way. It is a customer and also the business with the customer.
Fantastic.
So what happens at the end of the day is that this customer will return us to
your business.
Yes, and so that will help to strengthen the metric of retention. So the retention, the satisfaction is very important from a customer perspective.
We are talking to people who want to start, but again, there are some who have already started their businesses. what are the strategies they can use to improve their customer service?
We need first maybe to look at what is customer service in the first place, even as we discuss what strategies they need to look at.
Yes.
And this concept is two-faced. There's a customer service and there's a customer experience.
Customer service, customer experience. Take these notes.
Yes.
Yes.
So customer service is the interaction that a client, existing or prospective, will have with a business from the time that they look out for you for the product or the service that they need, when they are interacting with you in the business, and the after. So it's the before, in between, and the after. So what, all the activities that happen around this. And it is very transactional. So a customer maybe say for example, is a kinyozi. So there's this, maybe somebody, so you met with you and liked your hairstyle and will ask, oh, where do you go to the kinyozi? And you recommend the kinyozi. So customer service begins from there. They come in, they will have the service, and then they say after. Now there's a customer experience.
Customer experience.
Which is very critical in the process of the customer channel.
Okay.
Why is it very important? Because that is the aspect that helps us build a relationship with our customers. Okay. So it is all the interactions again that this customer is having at all these touch points. So by the minute they get into your kinyozi, how are they received? How are they welcomed into their VCs? How are they handled? How are they taken the process of how things are done? How do they make the payments? Afterwards, what is the post-service, things that happen after the service has been offered or the product has been consumed. So it is all this interaction in this process that informs the experience. And experience is what makes customer want to go back to the same service provider.
So you're saying the business people should not ignore the basics, saying hello, smiling, and all, those simple things.
The things that we may think that they are very basic are very important in any business, whether it is at a low level of a startup or it is a mature business.
Yes.
Like we say, the customer of today has moved away from the price, and now they're looking at the experience.
At the experience.
What am I feeling when I'm interacting with this person?
Wow. Workplace culture. People have come across these two words, and because people have a different definition for what comes to culture. What is workplace culture, and why is it important for businesses to have?
All right, so workplace culture is like the identity.
The identity
of a business or an organization. One, with its employees, and number two, with its customers. Now, to build a strong work culture, we need to have a very good engagement with our employees. Why? Because we will have shared values. When we have shared values as employees in the organization or in the business, we are able to share the same with our customers. So we are in sync, we are aligned, we are consistent with what we are offering out there. So it is a shared values, it is a belief system, it is what the identity that we shape for our businesses and we sell out to our customers. So it is very, very important that we build a strong collaborative culture. And when we say about collaborative culture, it means you as an entrepreneur or you who is looking to be an entrepreneur, when you get to the place of having staff, be aligned in terms of the vision, the mission of the company, on the core values, on the product knowledge, so that you are communicating a common identity to your customers. It also helps the employees feel safe, trust the brand, trust themselves, that they can also be of value in sharing ideas with you as the business owner from the perspective of that the people who are interacting with the customers most of the times, there's some things they may note that you may not be able to notice when you're not dealing with them directly. So they will feel safe. When the culture is good, when the culture is, it is safe for you to be able to communicate your ideas. That makes even the well-being of the employees go up there, motivation goes up, performance goes up, and productivity goes up.
Productivity goes up. Fantastic. Now let's assume that a business has a list of 10 things to do to improve. What should guide the business maybe to select? Let's say we should start with 1, then 4, then 6. What should guide a business to prioritize when making those improvements?
One of the key things is to ask the why.
Ask the why. Okay.
Why are we in business? Why are we doing what we are doing? Align that with your strategic goals. Because when you're starting up a business, or when you've already started up a business, you have a reason why you started it up.
Yes.
To serve a certain need. And then ask yourself, are you serving the need of the business, or are you serving the need of your customers?
Wow, there's a difference.
There's a difference. Because sometimes if you serve your own business needs, and perhaps that's not what your customer needs are, then you are not in business. You're there to address the pain points of your customers and not necessarily your own business need. However, the two need to align. And so that is why we are saying, first check your why and align that with your strategic goals. Then go back and look at what are your shareholders' value and the goal for that. For you as an entrepreneur or a business person, when you're starting your business, what are you expecting to get out of it? That is also very important to get aligned with. You also need to check again on what you are talking about on the value of the customer. Check. Do you understand your customer very well? Do you understand the customer journey? Do you understand the pain of the customer? Are you solving that pain? So those are key metrics to check. Of course, also checking on the regulatory part of it. You need to operate your business in line with the regulations that are set out. Is your business registered? How is it registered? Are you working within those legal frameworks? It's very important to work within you because of what? The ethical part of doing business. And so that also your customers can trust you in what you do.
Hey, Madam Pauline, your wisdom. We are going to take a short break. But hear this out. Before you start, have this in mind. Customer is king. And if you have already started, know this. I'll ask yourself this. Am I serving the needs of the customer or the needs of the business? We take a short break. Don't go too far.